So did you manage to get an NES Classic on Friday? Did you wait at 6 in the morning at your local GameStop that had like 6 of them? Did you actually get through to Amazon, or did you just sit there refreshing the page to no avail like everybody else? Everybody knew that this thing was going to be a big deal. Everybody knew that the demand was going to be huge, and everybody wanted one for nostalgia reasons. Friggin' BuzzFeed, for Christ's sake. Nintendo had to have known that it was going to be this popular, right? So why did they fall so short on demand, just like they've done countless times in the past? Nintendo is now known for coming out with stuff that people are super hyped on and then falling short on demand. It's almost like a sick joke now. Last time we saw this was with the Smash Bros. Amiibos, and before that, the original Wii. I guess that's not really countless times then, is it? And Nintendo never really has any good answers either. It's always a piss-poor excuse. This is their statement on the low shipments of the NES Classic. The Nintendo Entertainment System NES Classic Edition system is a hot item, and we are working hard to keep up with consumer demand. There will be a steady flow of additional systems through the holiday shopping season and into the new year. Please contact your local retailers to check product availability. A selection of participating retailers can be found at nintendo.com/NES-Classic. Now, of course, the speculation is that Nintendo does this to intentionally drum up hype. The Wii was the must-have item of the 2006 holiday season, and 2007, and 2008. The scarcity of the Wii became a popular news story, and now became a mission to get one. There was no real reason for its scarcity. It shouldn't have been a particularly hard console to manufacture. My theory is that years prior, Nintendo had the GameCube, which was a failure, selling very short of their target. They were not really in a place to take a big gamble on a console again, so they did a small release. Now, this does not explain the scarcity for the following years. Maybe they expected the demand to drop off? I have no idea. It just doesn't make sense to me for a company to intentionally limit sales. Maybe a little bit to drum up hype, but not so much that you can't get the damn thing. They want your money. Nintendo is in a very similar spot right now. A few years ago, they released the Wii U, which was a failure and sold very short of their mark. They're trying to keep their shipments modest. Everybody's real hype on Zelda Breath of the Wild, but they're only expecting to sell 2 million copies. 2 million, that's it. They could do way better than that. So expect a short shipment of that, too. They also have very little confidence in their retro catalog, too, for some reason. I guess their target audience is still kids, so they view the nostalgic crowd as just an added bonus, maybe? Nintendo probably had no confidence in the NES Classic and no budget for it either. It's a novelty piece of hardware that's only good for a one-time purchase. At least with their other hardware, they can expect continuous software purchases, you know? I honestly don't think that they expected this much demand from us. The console was only announced 4 months ago, and even if they realized then when they announced it that it was going to be a big deal, is 4 months enough time to ramp up production? Probably not. Especially not for the first shipment. I'd say they're going to try to squeeze out a lot more shipments before the holidays. We're just going to have to keep our eyes out. I mean, that's what they said they're going to do anyway, but we know that they lie all the time now. This scarcity issue is rarely a problem for their games. The last game that I remember having an issue picking up was Smash Bros. For the Wii U. 3DSs were never in that short of supply. I guess they were never really in that high of demand either. DS Lites were in pretty high demand, and those were pretty easy to find back then. It's a mystery, really. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt here, but one thing's for damn sure, that Nintendo Switch is going to be hard as to find. Will wanted to get an NES Classic, and so did Vicky, so I didn't think I needed one. I don't need 3 floating around in my life. But when that Amazon link went up at 5 p.m. on Friday, I decided to give it a shot anyway, because, you know, the more hands on it, the better. We were all trying our luck. And, of course, the add to cart button was broken, probably because it sold out in less than a second. I was part of the problem, but I was going to buy one. I was going to buy it. I only know one person who was able to get his hands on one, and that's because he left our office at like 5:30 on Thursday, ran all the way uptown to the Nintendo store in New York City, and was number 247 in line out of 250. God damn. That means he waited online for like 6 hours to get it. I'm not doing that. So what do you guys think about the NES Classic and its scarcity and Nintendo's managed scarcity in general? Do you think that they're doing it on purpose? Do you think that they're just inept? Or do you think that they're just trying to be modest because they don't have a lot to risk here. And did you or anybody you know get their hands on one? And how did you get your hands on one? Leave in the comments below. Add me on Twitter. All of this other social media garbage. I know there's a website, nowinstock.net, and you can have it alert you whenever the Amazon link goes back up or whenever it goes in stock on any website like GameStop, Best Buy, or any of those. So that might be good to look into, but just know that once it goes up, you got to be real quick because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be using alerts like that. But if you keep checking the stores, eventually they're going to get more shipments in before the holidays because they're going to want to make some holiday money before, next year. Anyway, new videos every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday nights is Wulff Den Live. Be here for our live podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every single Wednesday. Don't forget to check out the video that I did for ShoddyCast over here on Tracer, in case you want that. Of course, the most important things that you can do is subscribe and share this video with a friend who got totally boned by not getting an NES Classic. Thank you guys very much. Have a good week. Its low graphical power deterred third parties from releasing multi-platform games on there, and it deterred consumers from buying multi-platform games because the Wii version was always referred to as the dumbed-down version. But in North America, the Wii was the 4th best-selling console of all time. And what's the first? The first is the DS. And this thing is basically both of those combined. And sandwiched between all these juggernauts is Titanfall 2, which ironically has the best Metacritic rating, but is selling the worst. It sold half as much as Titanfall 1, and Titanfall 1 was a Microsoft exclusive. Titanfall 2 is on Xbox and PS4 and PC. And that's just a damn shame. But this doesn't have to be the end for Titanfall.